Thank you very much for joining this webinar. This is the third webinar in a series of 4 organized by the EOSC Enhance project. And my name is Carmela Asero. I'm going to deliver a brief introduction, as I did in the previous webinar, about this project. EOSC Enhance started on 1st December 2019, and it is the very first project that was tasked with the further development of the EOS portal, which initially was started and built with the combined effort of existing projects, namely InfraCentral, EOS Hub, and OpenAir Advanced. With the start of EOSC Enhance, this effort has concentrated into this project for most part, and we were able to work a lot in trying to integrate the existing components of the web portal and provide a new release with new functionalities. Next slide. So this is the EOSC Enhance consortium. As you can see, is composed of a set of very knowledgeable partners, already very active in the EOSC environment, with good technical knowledge. Also different categories of partners, technology providers, infrastructure, and also the representatives of the 5 S3 cluster project. Next one. You can see here the project structure. As you can see, is quite a simple project with just 5 work package. And coordinated by work package 1, we have the other different part of the project focusing on the specification, on the functionalities of the portal and the services for the providers, on the user functionalities, and then we have the work package 5 that works on the content component, all the useful information on the portal, as well as the communication activities and dissemination activities of the project. We have interacted a lot to develop the project, the new release of the portal, with the existing other projects contributed to the EOSC and with the EOSC working group of the governance. Next slide. You can see here the 4 main objectives of the EOSC Enhance project. As you can see, is about really providing better functionalities for both users and providers. So in this way, there can be wider adoption of the EOS portal throughout the EOS communities and the users, researchers, scientists, etc. And also try to make the experience of using the services offered and delivered through the portal in a friendly way, in an easy to use and easy to access way. Next slide. So here are the progresses on project objectives after the 1 year of duration of the EOSC Enhance project that will end in November 2021. So after 1 year, we had relevant advancement across all these objectives. So we have increased our offering, we have the new tutorials and trainings, easier and harmonized navigation, an improved onboarding process, and a wide series of enhancements that have been already shown in the previous 2 webinars and also today. Next slide. So here is a timeline of the main achievement that we have accomplished in year 1 since the start of the project. So it was a very intense year with a lot of background work and a lot of technical effort that was poured in to deliver this first release and the improved functionalities of the portal. Next slide. So here is a little bit of the process that led us to the release 1. So we analyzed the functional and non-functional requirement existing in the portal in the previous version. We analyzed the integration model, so we used techniques to integrate the existing components. We developed a new unified profile and improve the onboarding process. Meanwhile, this process was fed by the requirements that we have been gathering across the communities, particularly for this first year, focused on the SD clusters and the regional projects. So we had all these steps and all the requirements were fed into the process that led to the release 1. Next slide. So this is a bit of a detail about the requirement gathering campaign. This has been in the first year, the first one. And here we have some of the goals that we were pursuing with the requirements gathering campaign. So we wanted to get insight from the users. We want to provide the community with say better set of functionalities and offering through the portal. We had different methodology for the requirement gathering. We had the workshop, we had focus interviews. We also made use of the EOS Secretariat Liaison platform and also of an online survey. And then everything was followed by a requirement validation workshop at the end of September. There will be a new campaign next year, and we will widen it to more actors in the community. So next slide. So this has been our target interlocutors, so various categories of end users and also service providers, so including aggregators, infrastructure, clusters, thematic clouds, etc. Next slide. So here is a bit the timeline for the year 2. We will go on making improvements, trying to fill gaps. And for this, the feedback that users provide through the form in the EOS portal is very useful. So all the suggestions are taken into account, as well as the input that we are obtaining through the interactions with these webinars. We will have, of course, collaboration and synergy with the new projects that will come out from the Infra-EOSC 03 and 07 calls, which should start early 2021. So I think I can now leave the floor to my colleagues that today will focus on the new functionalities for users. Thank you very much.
Hello, everybody. My name is Bartosz Wilk. Thank you, Carmela, for great introduction. I will present the webinar for EOS Portal users and the new functionalities provided by the development team of EOS Portal, and especially focusing on the new developments provided to you this year. I come from CYFRONET AGH, and we as CYFRONET are leading the work package in EOSC Enhance that is focused on providing new functionalities towards end users. So let me just start with our objectives and then guide you through discovery, access, methods of the features in EOSC Portal towards end users, and then we'll go to the analysis of the functionalities in the user space, and then we'll end with information about support and feedback channels in the EOSC portal user-facing part. Okay, so what is our mission in the development of functionalities towards end users? We want to boost European research by providing all necessary interfaces and functionalities to equip EOSC users with knowledge about and possibility to use resources available in EOSC to support science across Europe. That's basically what EOSC portal user-facing part is trying to do with providing all the functionalities towards end users. So what is this all about? Main functions of the EOSC portal are divided into two groups. One is a gateway for EOSC resources, and by that I mean that we are providing 271 categorized and well-described resources supporting research. This list is composed of many types of resources along with coming from a variety of providers and use cases. There are generic resources presented there as well as thematic ones, services specialized to support specific scientific disciplines. And there are many solutions developed for many branches of science, and some of the resource offers are tailored to specific use cases. This boils down to resources coming from 4 types of access modes. Some of them are orderable through EOSC portal, some of them are orderable through other marketplaces or using other delivery methods. Some of them are open access, and some of them present various types of accessibility modes. EOSC portal is trying to encapsulate this diversity and present the users with a single list of resources that are accessible with a consistent manner. And second function in which we are trying to address end user perspective is communication channels with EOSC providers and other EOSC stakeholders. Resources provided in the EOSC portal come from 128 providers of different kinds. So the challenge is quite significant to provide the users with adequate communication channels with such a diverse group of infrastructures, user communities, and scientific institutions that are willing to provide resources for the EOSC end users. Also, this communication channels gives the end users a possibility to request resources and compose resources to their own infrastructures to support their scientific research. With some functionalities, we also allow the users to give feedback and rate resources, and allow to use support from both EOSC providers and EOSC expert support group who are trying to help with their knowledge in fulfilling goals of the researchers. Okay, so with that in mind, we need to remember that all interfaces and functionalities of the user-facing parts are meant to be user-driven. So this is our goal in the development of EOSC Portal, and especially in EOSC Enhance, we are trying to focus on that aspects with the use of various user experience analysis tools, modeling methods, and performing different analytical activities to make sure that the user perspective is something that stays in the center of our development. Okay, so let's start with functionalities. EOSC Portal provides us with many information about resources provided in the EOSC infrastructure. Let's start with discovery of these resources and functionalities around that subject. So to start with, we all know EOSC Portal main page, and this is of course the main access route to all services and resources. Starting with the main EOSC Portal homepage, we can select categories that will guide us to the list of resources in the catalog. In the scope of EOSC Enhance, we provided the new layout of resources, which is based on the resource profile 3.0, a model that other teams developed to collect valuable information from providers. A challenge for development team and the discovery part of functionalities was how to present them in the way that the most crucial parts are visible. So this year we enhanced this view, and in order to give the users an overview of the new developments, we also provided a functionality that is able to guide the user through new features in the catalog and marketplace part of the portal. Then the new functionality is also provided, which allows to compare resources side by side to reflect on their characteristics and select the ones suitable for their research and their use cases. We also enhanced search and filtering methods, which you might have noticed. There are many filtering methods and also many metadata taken into account in order to provide the list of the best matches for the search phrases. New filters allow you to select to boil down to make the result list more accurate and to find the resources that are provided by providers or suited to scientific domains of your interests. Okay, so let me just go through to the EOSC portal itself and give you a slide overview with the live demo. So as you know, the best way to navigate to the EOSC portal catalog and marketplace is starting from portal home. But if you ever find it useful to review all the discovery methods provided by the EOSC portal catalog and marketplace, you can always go to the landing of the catalog and marketplace and review the main use cases. So as you can see, there are two main use cases for our end users, and one is for the users that want to browse the catalog of resources themselves, and the other is for the ones that want to start with describing the use case and getting support. I will go back to this to the latter one with the next section of this tutorial. So let's pretend that we want to express our characteristics as users. I'm coming from humanities, scientific domain. So apart from categories of the resources that are classifying them into groups, we can also start with providing some information about our user characteristics. Let's pretend that I come from humanities discipline, and then I will select the resources dedicated for researchers user group, as I want to find something for me as a representative of humanities discipline and researcher. Then I would like to find out which of these resources available in the European Union. So now I'll select here European Union. As you can see in this instance of EOSC Portal Marketplace, there is only one field to do that, but the beta instance that we will be showing from time to time provides much more filtering capabilities right now, so we'll come back to this later. Anyway, I also want to review the providers list and select only resources provided by Clarin Eric, as I'm mostly interested in their resource products. And this gives me 3 end results with all the filtering capabilities applied. What I can do right now is to add these 3 resources to the comparison tray and try to find out how they are comparable. And as you can see, here are some resource characteristics that can be taken into account when trying to find the resource most suitable to your use case. And going to the beta instance with some of the newly but not yet released features, I can also show you more parameters taken into account at that view. So as we can see, all these records are available for researchers, and 2 of them are requiring ordering from me, and 1 is open access. It is in this case B2Node. Okay, second way to browse through the EOSC portal resource list is searching for a search phrase, and I'm going to search for compute intensive. And as you can see, this auto-completion methods gives me some results right away. Some of them come from the service list, and some of them also take into account metadata of the offers. Let's have a look for the search results though. And as you can see, here are also taken into account matching offers in the descriptions of resources that I found. Okay, the third way is to just navigating through the search bar, but knowing what I want to search. And I know that I want to search for EGI Cloud Compute and use autocompletion methods to navigate straight to the resource view. Now I'm presented with the tour guide I was referring to with my presentation. So let's take a tour and I will tell you what have changed here. So the main section, which is the first highlighted part, contains all the most valuable information and the ones that describe main characteristics of the resources. Then I'm guided to the About section, which contains a resource description provided by the providers and the offers that providers are willing to provide for the ordering of this resource. As you can see, there are 4 types of resource offers for EGI Cloud Compute, and all of them are requiring some ordering process. Then we moved classification of the resources for the specialized right panel, providing also the map on which you can reflect on the availabilities and of this resource and languages in which the resource can be provided. The rest of the information that is more detailed as we are since the release of the new portal loaded with information from providers by the engagement of the resource profile 3.0. We moved this to the details section that will be presented here. And here you can see all the information provided by providers, even such specific as related resources that will be compatible with this resource. Then I am finishing the tour guide and I will come back to this later with the next part of my presentation. Okay, so we found out our resource of interest, but let's talk more about user spaces in the EOSC portal and specifically catalog and marketplace. So the user space that allows you to manage your resources. The first part of the user space is your user profile. This feature has been developed this year, and some of you may have noticed this as it is advertised once you enter the EOSC Portal Catalogue and Marketplace and log in for the first time since the feature has been developed. This interface is meant to collect all user relevant information and allow for subscriptions to notifications. So once you select your categories of interest and allow us to send emails, you will be notified if any of interesting resources appear in the EOSC portal, and you can review them. We will develop this this profile more with more user profile properties that will allow you to tell us more about who you are, and with the use of new features which will be provided this year, we will also try to make some profile-based personalization of the user interfaces and provide the users with the recommendations to help browsing and discovering resources. Another part of the user space is the space for EOSC Marketplace projects. In general, they allow you to organize your resources in the easy to use way. You can classify them, you can classify your resources as used in one of your projects. You can, the feature is basically meant for classification and for organization of your resources. Moreover, once you use this feature, you can easily access the collection of your resources and monitor ordering statuses there. As we are working with the list of resources, with a catalog of resources that present different ordering and access methods, we need a single coherent mechanisms to let users manage their resources of preferences within the EOSC portal user space. This part of the user space also allow to interact with the EOSC experts and providers to get support for used resources, and also to rate resources. Okay, so let's go to a next part of our demo and focus on the user space this time. First thing I need to do is to log in. And I'm going to use EGI check-in as my single sign-on system. Of course, there are many other options for authentication. So you can use authentication method of your community in order to log into the EOSC portal. Now I have prepared the state of this beta instance in the way that I am shown with the message that that a user is shown once entering the user space for the first time, and it will take me to the user profile and let me find out what changed and select my preferences about the use of the portal. Okay. This is the profile, and once I have completed updating my profile, I can save changes to be notified about resources in my categories of interests. Okay, so let's talk a bit about the projects. The second part of the menu, which manages my user space, is my projects. So as you can see, I have no projects, and I am welcomed to use this feature by the EOSC portal. So let me just create a first project, and maybe I'll tell that my project will organize of my aerospace research. The reason to access this the resources in EOSC portal in scope of this project is that I need to use use resources for Copernicus program project, and that I'm able to tell the portal that this project will be aggregating my resources used in the domain of science of aerospace engineering. Now I am able to provide the typology of customer, and this is mainly for the purpose of knowing who and with which role will access resources in scope of this project. I need to tell the portal that I'm not a robot here, so I can create a project. And as you can see, I created my first marketplace project. Here are all the details that are provided by me with the registration of this project. And at the project panel, I can use the contact with EOSC experts that will support my research reflected with the use of this project. And also I can check resources that are used. Also, I can organize resources that I use in scope of this project. I will come back to this with my next topic. Okay, so we know how to discover services. We know how to access user space. Now there's time for accessing the EOSC resources. So as I previously explained, there are many types of order type or access type that are suited for resources presented in the resource catalog of EOSC Portal. The order type is reflected on the resource list, so you can always tell by the analysis of the search results which type of the ordering method is represented by a service or resource. And there are 4 types of resource order types that are available for providers who are onboarding EOSC Portal. The first one is order required, so a type which requires ordering either in the EOSC Portal itself or some external or community-driven ordering platform that community providing the resource already use for resource delivery. Open access are services or resources that don't require requesting access, but they may engage some registration methods, which in turn fully open access resources don't need to provide you with the resource operation with the service. Resource providers that couldn't classify the resources may use other, and you will also see various of the types on the list of resources at the catalog and marketplace EOSC Portal part. As some of resources provide various offers for a single resource, for a single service. So that's how they are classified. All these access methods require a consistent user interface to provide the users with simple and easy to use navigation to access the resource. So that's why users are always shown with a big blue button named access the resource, no matter what the type of the ordering method or access method is. With the use of this button, the user is guided through the resource access guide that were also enhanced this year, and it reflects the all the available resource ordering methods or access types. Once the access method is used, if the resource is orderable through EOSC portal and its marketplace part, you can analyze the history of your resource access requests in the projects panel. Also, the projects panel will allow you to bookmark your open access resources to easy find them when you next approach EOSC Portal to compose your resource compose your infrastructure using resources provided by EOSC Portal. Okay, so back to the demo. We have created our project and we want to add our first resource. And let me start from using some open access resource. In order to find it, I will need to use a filter that allows me to determine which resources are open access. And as you can see, all these resources are accessible with the open access method. I can compare them and select the one that suits my use case. Okay, and now what I want to do is just to access the resource. Of course, I can use handy links at the top channel and top panel of the resource presentation page, but I will use the access the resource button. And as you can see, I am now informed what is the type of this resource and what it means for me to access this resource. As it is open access resource, I can just click this big button and navigate straight to the resource and start to use it. But if I want to come back to using Portal and I want to use my project to remember this resource, I can go further and just add it to the project. So now, as you can see, this project contains my resource and allows me to navigate to the resource once I enter my user space. Okay, so let's go back to the portal and try to use other resource that will require ordering. I'm looking for Cloud Computer VGI, as I already explained, as this resource present you with many offers of ordering. Many offers of this resource are provided by EGI provider. Okay, I will use this button again, and now as you can see, I need to select an offer that is suitable for my use case. Let's pretend I need something to perform parallel computations, so I use the GPU method, and here is the explanation of the request access method, resource access method, and then I can use the configuration of the resource provided by this provider in the portal itself. This resource provider selected ordering method used in the EOSC Portal Marketplace, so I am able to request the access directly from the marketplace. Now, what I need to do is to select my project, and this will tell the provider why I am requesting the access to this resource. This is helping the user also to not deal with providing all the information about the usage each time they are requesting resources, and usage of the projects allow the provider also to tell which resources are used to support this specific use case. Okay, so now I'm in the project panel, and as you can see, there are two resources here, and one has been ordered and one has been bookmarked in the project. So let's check how is the status of EG Out Cloud Compute. As you can see, the resource request has been created, but there is no other information from the provider. But we can see the status here, and we can also contact the resource provider when needed. Okay, I will come back to the contact, but I will start with a presentation of various user support and feedback methods provided with EOSC Portal. So first support channel is the projects. Project will allow to start with creating new project and describing use case of the end users. This is suitable for the users that cannot really find what they are looking for, or they cannot compose their infrastructure from the resources that are available and in the catalog. This use case starts with communication with EOSC experts that will guide the user through the list of EOSC resources. For the resources already added to the project, we can contact with resource provider at the resource detail page on the projects panel. We can ask them about the usage of this resource from the project panel. Other support channel provided by EOSC Portal is meant for both unauthenticated and authenticated user. Each user is able to use a button for asking questions, for requesting some clarifications from the provider, and does not require authentication in any form, although authenticated users don't need to provide detailed information about name or email addresses. And all the communication is handled via email. So in this case, the EOSC Portal only acts as an initial support channel method. Okay, for reporting technical issues with the EOSC Portal, there is a ribbon on the bottom of this page. Although the service is provided with the highest care and operational procedures based on FIT-SM to provide to ensure indefectible operation and high availability, there is a slight chance that something goes wrong. And here's how we can report a problem. The EOSC Portal support team will reply to the issues tracked there, and will come back to the user with the solution. From support mechanisms, we go straight to feedback mechanisms. So once I am using a service, and I am using a service, if I added this service to the project or requested the access of this resource, and the resource has been delivered by the EOSC Portal with the use of EOSC Portal, the resource have been delivered by provider with the use of EOSC Portal. In any of these cases, I can review the resource and rate it. I can also provide comments about the use of this resource. As you've previously seen in my presentation, there is also feedback mechanisms for newly developed features introduced in the EOSC portal. And once I am finishing the tour guide for specific features, I can rate this feature and leave some comments. And also I am able as a user to tick this checkbox that will inform the EOSC portal development team that I want to be a part of EOSC portal design and verification or validation group. This will help us to build a user base that wants to help in co-creating EOSC portal with us. Okay, and the general feedback mechanism that has been engaged this year with the release of the new portal version at the end of the last year is a provide feedback ribbon that allows for a general feedback about the EOSC portal. Okay, so let's go back to the EOSC Catalog and Marketplace for a short tutorial demo. And let's start from the home page of the Catalog and Marketplace. As I don't know how to use EOSC resources, of course I do, but I will pretend I don't. I can describe my use case and get support from EOSC experts. I will use this navigation to the projects panel, and I will create a new project named SATFO NV, as this is one of our other involvements in CYFRONET. Reason is whose data access, and I will select aerospace engineering. This time I want to say that I am representing a project to let let the EOSC support team know that I am a representative of this project with my questions, and I will provide a website of this project to let experts know how to get more information about me and my project. Okay, I created a project, and now I want to write a message to a support team and tell them that I still haven't found what I'm looking for. Okay, now the support EOSC operations team has been notified about my message, and they are ready to support my use case. And once they reply, I will see the message here on the project panel. Okay, so this is the first way of getting support. Let's check how my resources I previously added to my project behave right now. I can see that EGI Cloud Compute has still its new state. So, and I can see that the request has been created, but I don't see any progress with this resource delivery. So I can write to the resource provider, what is the status of this order? And similarly to the conversation in the project, once the provider replies, I will be presented with the answer from the provider, but this time the communication is between me and the resource provider. Okay, then I'll go to the resource and select EGI resource list and select EGI Cloud Compute once again. And as you can see, I am able to send an email to the provider. And ask how to use this service. I'm really having a hard luck today with the reCAPTCHA. Okay, something may be wrong at the beta instance I am presenting you right now. Anyway, the communication channel will be email address, and what needs to be shown to you is the feedback mechanism at the end of the store. So I'll quickly run through this tour again. And then I will be able to comment the feature you just saw and tell the portal developers that the feature is very useful and leave a comment on how they can improve it. Just provide more information at the resource description. And I want to take part in the validation team. Now I am using incognito window, so I am not logged in anymore. I need to select mountains this time. And I will use my email address because the registration is not needed for that. I just left a comment for EOSC Portal developers, and they know that the tour guide guided me through this feature and that I like this newly developed feature. Okay, so once again I will go to the EOSC Marketplace production instance, and then I show you how to provide a feedback, a general feedback for the portal. I can rate this page, tell what I like, and in general tell what needs to be improved. I can select my name and email, and if I'm experiencing some misbehavior of EOSC Portal, I can always use this ribbon to report a technical issue, and also I will be notified with email on how the problem was resolved. Okay, that's all from my side, and I'm happy to answer your questions about new functionalities for the end users of EOSC Portal and in general about functionalities towards the end users. Thank you very much.
So thank you, Bartosz. And there are still a couple of questions left. I think these are questions more on technical side. So we have questions about providers of the portal. To my knowledge, this is not necessary. I mean, we have not discussed of being member or non-member of EOSC. If we intend being members of the EOSC Association, for example, it's not clear here. Concerning being free, so far it's been free at point of use, and a lot of these activities have been funded through projects, but we are working and studying and analyzing aspects of sustainability for the future. It might not well be so in the future. It depends on what type of service, what type of usage is requested. Maybe Bartosz, you can take up on the questions. There are still 2 open questions.
Carmela, sorry, but I was presenting and I wasn't able to see the chat. So if you can just pretend.
Can you open the chat?
Yes.
So there is a question about are the providers EOSC member, and is it free to members? Then we have another question. What are the requirements to qualify as an EOSC marketplace provider?
That's better to be asked at the providers webinar, but in general there are onboarding rules being developed with the EOSC Enhance and EOSC Hub collaboration team that analyzes the resources that want to be onboarded. The good contact point, if I'm not mistaken, is onboarding at eoscportal.com email address, or join at EOSC Portal address. EOSC Portal also in its content component provides the information about the qualification rules, so you can always navigate to EOSC Portal homepage and check the rules yourself. Are there any more questions?
So no, I think we answered all of them. So if there are no further questions, I would like to thank you for joining. And I see just hand raised. I don't know exactly. Ah, yes. Maybe we can allow to talk. Yes. Handrabi Munaza.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, so I have 2 basic questions which are not very technical. So one of this is when I go to the website, so on the portal page, there are all these services, and then there is the catalog and the marketplace. So are both these services and resources and what we find on the marketplace identical, or are these different things?
Could you provide more information about your path of navigation? So we are going to the EOSC Portal website, and then
yes. So on the EOSC Portal home, so when I'm on the EOSC Portal, so I can see access EOSC services and resources. But there's a separate tab for catalog and marketplace.
Yes, these are basically 2 navigations method to the same portal parts, so catalog and marketplace. You can always use the top navigation to navigate through portal components, and the catalog and marketplace service and resource categories are also advertised at the homepage of EOSC Portal. So
my question was that that means that what we see in the catalog and marketplace, we also see in the service and resources.
Basically, you are navigated to the same catalog.
Okay. And my second question was, you were talking about the beta release or beta version. So has it already been released? Is it available to users, or is it still in the processing stage?
Beta version is a part of the quality assurance process, and it is available for the users, for the development teams, and for the quality team to to go on with the development. I was using the beta instance mainly because I wanted to show you how we are really ordering services. But with the new release of the EOSC portal, all the functionalities that has been advertised for this release are already in place. There are of course in the agile process behind the EOSC portal development, there are some progresses that move this feature set and enhancements forward, and they can be reviewed at the beta instance before they go to the production. But in general, we are not far from last release this time.
Thank you. Thank you.
So I have another question, Baptiste.
Yes, hello. I have a question. So I've been using the EOSC portal and the marketplace in the last years. I have several projects that are already in my account. One issue that I have is that I have several identities. So I can log in either through EGI check-in or through EduTeams or through my my own IDP, my institution, and I don't see the way to merge those accounts to have all my projects in the same account on the EOSC marketplace. And this is a bit problematic because once you've registered through one IDP, one authentication process, it is very difficult to disconnect really and then go back to another identity.
Yes, that's true. And this is one of the most common problems for all platforms using single sign-on services. As with many accounts, we usually treat these registrations as new accounts for the systems. This is, however, a good recommendation for the EOSC portal to try to take care of the multi-access methods and provide some functionalities for merging.
Either merging or having capabilities to really log out.
Okay.
And logging out, I know it's difficult when you do SSO, but maybe there's a way that could also, because sometimes you may not want to merge accounts. I don't know. It's
the problem with logout is that you log out from the current application, but
yeah.
You cannot really log out from the SSO itself.
Yeah, this is what I understand.
It's working the same with Google and YouTube and Gmail.
Yeah. So merging would be the option then.
Yes.
Yeah.
Baptiste, could you please exercise one of the feedback methods for the EOSC portal, yeah, and try to put this as a requirement for EOSC portal?
I already had a ticket with the
okay.
In the help desk for some time, but okay. I will add a new one.
Okay. Okay. Are there any other questions?
So I think we can close, and we have overcome a little bit the time, and there are not other questions. So I would like to thank you very much for joining. And we have another webinar ready next week, the last of this series on Thursday, 21st January at 11. So you find the link in the chat, and you find it also on the EOSC portal. Thank you very much, and have a nice rest of the day.